Hello and welcome to another episode of the Feather and Football podcast with me, Luke Feather. This week I'm joined with Josh Lucas.
How we doing? You alright?
I'm all right. How are you?
Warm, but I'm all good.
Warm, but we push on.
There we go.
So this
Push
week
through.
there's a bit of a clue on Josh's shirt, but I think this week we'll just talk about Chelsea. Obviously, going to be a very busy summer for Chelsea. It's already started with Ziyech and Werner. Logical place to start would be in the Premier League. So we finished fourth this year. What are your thoughts?
Overall, good season, I think. To say it's Frank's first season in Premier League, very good start. And there's only a second season in management. And say he's got a Champions League spot with Chelsea after Hazard leaving, transfer ban. You know, I weren't expecting to finish fourth, but I'll definitely take it. Could have maybe pushed for third. Before lockdown, it was looking promising that we had it pretty secure, but you know, slipped up a bit. Had a couple of hard games, but yeah, you got to take fourth really.
Take fourth, especially with other players coming through as well. Obviously, you Mason Mount, your Tammy Abrahams, obviously Reece James.
It's took a big faith in the youth players this year, and it's paid off. I think, to be fair.
Yeah. So it's not been a great week for Chelsea. Obviously, we're in Champions League the next season. We're now out of this year's Champions League after 7-1 sort of reality check against Bayern Munich.
Not great.
It's not great, but against a team like Bayern Munich, obviously one of the favourites to go on and win the whole thing.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. Well, deserved, I think, 7-1 overall. Pretty much, I was expecting it, to be fair. I weren't expecting much out of the second leg, 3-0 down, going away to Bayern. As you said, I think worthy winners this year. I think they will push on to win it, especially with all injuries we had as well on against the game. We didn't have half the players that we normally do. So
I think we missed Pulisic.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Probably Willian as well, to be fair.
It's not even like we played bad in the game, to be fair. Did you see Callum Hudson-Odoi's goal?
Yeah, very unlucky with that one.
Got ruled off. That was unbelievable. But it's not like we played awful. Just they were better.
Yeah, you just have to hold your hands up sometimes, don't you?
Yeah, it just shows you the difference between like 2012 and now. Now the teams have evolved and changed, and how much Bayern are pushing on, and
a lot more defensively solid in 2012 because we had to be. Let's be honest. For most of the game, we were defending. Petr Cech put in the performance of a lifetime, and obviously we've got far from Petr Cech at the minute. So
Willy Caballero or Kepa. Not great.
Anyway, one player that did score against Bayern, Tammy Abraham. I think he's had a good season. Obviously, he's got 15, 16 goals in the league, a couple more in other competitions. But you do look at him and think he's not quite there yet. He's not quite a Chelsea striker yet, if you know what I mean.
He's not got to the level of like a Drogba or an
Costa.
Elka or Costa. I don't know. It's a tricky one with him because he's still young, he's still progressing, he's still improving. But Chelsea need that main number 9 striker, and I don't think it's Tammy just yet.
Not yet. I think he'll be good for the squad. But for the minute.
What would you do with him then? Would you keep him on bench?
Do you know, it's a tough one because obviously Timo Werner, who's scored bags and bags of goals for 2 or 3 years now, he's coming in, and you would assume that he would play through the middle because that's where he's been scoring all his goals. But I think he can play out on either the left or the right, but I think the way I can see it lining up next season is Werner through the middle and Tammy on the bench, to be honest.
What about Giroud, though? Because he's had a good season.
I know he has, but Giroud's one of them.
It's tricky, isn't it? It's very tricky.
It's a tricky one because with Giroud, he's played so well and he's been vital for Chelsea getting top 4 in the last few weeks of the season. But especially 100%. Since the restart, I think he's got 7 or 8 goals since the restart. But it's one of them. Like he's getting on. He's not the most mobile striker. I don't think for what Lampard wants to do pushing forward, I don't think he's quite mobile enough. Like can't get around the pitches as easily.
Well, you can see the direction he's trying to push it in with Ziyech and hopefully Havertz. And it's going to be. He's trying to push that kind of like counter through balls, playing over top, blah blah blah.
And the high pressing as well. Werner's someone that days. But with Giroud, love him for what he's done. I think he's a very underrated player, has been for a few years. But
I do actually.
I think as a third, maybe a third choice striker, I think it's a good option to have, to be honest.
Yeah. But do you think that Tammy will want to stay when he's not playing?
I think he's got the personality to try and fight for his place. I think because Chelsea's his club as well. He's been there since he was a kid. I think he's gonna. I don't think he's just gonna sit down and take it. I think he's gonna want to push.
Well, he's been doing that with Giroud now, hasn't he? Really?
Exactly. It's times like this where you think you learn more about players' like mentalities. I think.
Definitely. Yeah.
Everyone knew that Chelsea had money to spend this summer, and everyone assumed that they would go out and buy players. So all the youth players that have come through, you look at someone like Mason Mount, they're looking like heavily linked with Kai Havertz, and you would think they might like clash in terms of a position.
Yeah.
I think we'll learn a lot about the youth players.
It'd be interesting to see how they react to the bigger players coming in, see if they step it up or.
Yeah,
as you said.
Obviously, I don't think they're just going to be left on the side. I think they will. Like Chelsea play a lot of games in a season through the Premier League, the Champions League, and the Cups.
Frank's built them up this year to a pretty good standard. Yeah, I can't see him just dropping them, like flies. I think he will continue to play him, and it'd be interesting to see next season.
Especially Mount for me, because I think he loves Mount, and I've grown to love him. I think he's been probably Chelsea's best or second best player this season.
Well, he's been quality. He's got nominated for Young Player of the Season, hasn't he, as well?
Yeah, and
alongside Pulisic.
Another player I was about to say who's been nominated for Young Player of the Year, Christian Pulisic. It's just been brilliant, really.
He has been very good this year. Sorry, go on. Go on, no, you're right.
I was going to say, because there was a stage in the season, I think he started the season pretty much playing every game. And then there was a long, I think there was like 3 or 4 games where he didn't even come off the bench. Yeah, I thought that was a big test to him. It just looked like Lampard didn't quite fancy him at the time. Then he got that hat-trick against Burnley as well. And then he had a lot of time out injured as well. He had like 2 or 3 months out injured.
Yeah.
But I think if he can just, obviously he's injured again now with his hamstring, but if he's fit for the start of the season, I think Chelsea are in business.
Yeah, I think Frank's definitely grown to like him. As you said, he started playing a bit when we first got in, and then he like dropped off a little bit, then got the Burnley hat-trick, and then he got injured. So, but yeah, he's
go on, carry on.
Obviously he's been playing great. Not quite Hazard standard yet, but can definitely see exactly. Yeah, similar qualities already. The way he's dribbling around players, and the speed, shots. Good quality player.
I think Lampard said the other week in an interview that he thinks Pulisic's actually like more direct with his running than Hazard, because Hazard's more likely to come inside and just pick up the space, but Pulisic wants to be on the ball and he'll just run at defenders because he's got
he'll drive them. Yeah.
But just comparing him and another Chelsea winger, obviously, Callum Hudson-Odoi, he burst onto the scene last year playing in the Cups.
It's been an interesting season for him, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want, with young players coming through, I think people are very quick to judge, because players will come up and then suddenly, they're the best English talent in the country.
Yeah.
And then they have a bit of poor form. And it's like, he's overrated. But you need to remember, he's 19 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he's got 15 years left. It's like,
I think a lot of people have judged him this season, but say how young he is, and did he have an injury? He got injured, didn't he?
He had a serious Achilles injury.
Yeah.
At this stage in his career, to get an injury like that, it's very poor luck.
Yeah, gonna say, but I think he's had an alright season. Obviously, that goal against Bayern, that just shows how good he can be on the day. Just needs a bit of time, I think, more game time, and then we've got to see where he goes.
I do wonder how much game time he's going to get next year, though, because obviously Pulisic, we've already talked about him, but Pulisic has been in the form, just amazing form since the restart, especially. And then we've got Werner coming in, who can play out on out wide if Tammy plays through the middle. They've got Havertz, but can pretty much play anywhere by the looks of things. They've got Ziyech as well. It's like it's an embarrassment of riches, really.
We are very stacked for options, but we have just got rid of Willian and Pedro, so that does free up a bit of time there. But
True.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see what he does next year. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. But for the excitement to carry on, I think the defence definitely needs addressing, to say the least.
Well, yeah, I agree. It's not great at the minute. Definitely need to look at getting some defensive options. You know, he's gone all out for attack now. We've got Werner, hopefully Havertz, Ziyech. Need to start looking at goalkeeper, left back, centre back.
I think the one defensive position that we're actually sorted in, well, two if you count like defensive midfield because we've got Kante, but I think right back's all right. As we can still do a job, but I think James will come through. James will get better. James will get a lot better.
I think he's a quality player. All crosses he's putting in, and defensive wise, he's great.
Yeah,
I still do rate Aspilicueta, to be fair. He's a leader on the pitch. I think he's an important first team player. So whether he plays James at right back and Aspilicueta centre back, then
that's the thing. I don't think Aspi can play at centre back in a back four.
Yeah, he's definitely a preferred right back into.
Yeah, well, in the last few weeks, obviously, apart from the Bayern Munich game,
yeah,
we played three at the back. So if he plays at right centre back, if you like he did on Conte, then I think he can still do a job. But at right back, I do worry when we're coming up against Rashford or Son. You know, these really, really fast players. I do worry about Aspi.
He's getting on now a bit.
I'm going to say, like we saw in the FA Cup final, Aubameyang tore him to shreds. But
when he gave away penalty and then about 5 minutes later he got subbed off injured. What a great game he had.
I think he just had enough.
Yeah.
First time
at that
been
point,
injured
he took
in 8 years.
Yeah, I'm going to say he normally plays like every game, every season, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Proper worry, but
I can't actually remember him ever missing a game through injury. So it's just testament to him, really. He's been a great servant.
Yeah, whether Frank next year decides to push for maybe a new leader, or I can definitely see even like Reece James.
Yeah, or
a couple of years.
One man that's been linked with Chelsea, who I can see as a future Chelsea captain, is Declan Rice.
Yeah, well, I was just about to say Declan.
The reports, the reports have been a bit flip flop, to be honest. It's been like, Chelsea bid 50 million for him, and then next
that's what I saw over there.
Then next thing you know, West Ham come out and say we've had no £50 million bid. I don't know where this has come from, so I don't know. You don't know what to believe, but would you take him?
It's a tricky one because obviously he's not made his England breakthrough yet, really.
Not really, no.
I think he's a good player. Whether he's Chelsea quality yet, I'm not sure. As a leader on the pitch, he's a West Ham captain at the minute. But yeah, it's a tricky one. Obviously, he gets on well with Mason Mount, like best mates, aren't they? But I'm not sure yet. What about you? What do you think?
I do like him, but I'm not 100% certain he's what Chelsea need, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because it depends where you play him as well. I think if you look at defensive midfield, there's rumours that Kante might be going because of his injuries, and he's not old, but I think he's 29 now, so you do need to start looking towards the future.
Yeah, 100%.
So in defensive midfield, I think he could be all right if Kante leaves, of course. At centre back, I don't think he's what Chelsea need.
Yeah, I was just about to say, as a CDM, then you might take him, but we've still got other options in there that I think are probably better for the future anyway. So
I've thought about this for a few weeks. I've been trying to think who could Chelsea actually go for at centre back, but I've come to the conclusion that world class centre backs are going extinct. There's only about 2 that I can think of.
There isn't many, is there?
Not going to get Van Dijk. Let's be real.
No, obviously not. No.
Koulibaly's going to cost a fortune. There aren't really world class centre backs anymore.
I was going to say we were linked with that Koulibaly for a bit, and then he got linked with City, and then it's gone off at radar a bit now. But there aren't many left. Not many John Terrys left.
No, yeah. But obviously, you touched on it a minute ago as well. Could do with a left back as well. Don't really fancy Alonso or Emerson, to be honest.
Yeah, I did used to quite like them. I haven't got anything against Alonso. It's just we need someone better if we want to be pushing forward for the league and stuff. He's very unreliable. I can't remember a game I watched the other week, but when we got countered and he just weren't tracking back, or
that's his issue. Is he's not quick enough. He can't get up and down the pitch like an Andy Robertson or.
Well, he likes to get up the pitch, just not getting back down the pitch.
But
his problem.
Even nowadays, like obviously under Conte he was brilliant and he was so vital, him and Victor Moses. But even nowadays, watching him, his decision making just seems so poor. And like visibly last season when Hazard was still here, you could visibly see Hazard get upset. Well, not upset, but like frustrated because Alonso was making the wrong runs. He wasn't releasing the ball. He's putting bad crosses into the box. I'd get rid of him, to be honest.
I think it is time we invested in a new left back. Obviously, we've been linked with Chilwell.
Yeah.
But would you pay 80 million for him?
No, no. Especially when there's other left backs about. Obviously, there's reports of this Rugilan. Don't know a lot about him, to be honest.
No, I've not heard a lot about him, to be honest.
From what I've seen on people say about him on Twitter, he's had a decent season on loan at Sevilla. A lot cheaper as well. Obviously, he's not got the English thing, so
that puts another 20 mil on that. It's being English.
Yeah, exactly. So I've been linked with him and Tagliafico from Ajax as well. Both of them apparently about 20-25 million. So honestly, I'd take either of them over Chilwell.
Try and get a youngster in, develop them a bit, see where they can go. Definitely better over Alonso or Emerson, to be fair. I think they've dropped off in past seasons. So definitely time to look there.
I think it's. I do feel a bit harsh of Emerson because he started the season really well. I think. Yeah. I think he was the first choice left back. He started so well, and then he got injured, and then he just wasn't the same after that.
So, I think Frank's looking for something else now, isn't he? But Chilwell would be a good signing, but I'm not sure I want to pay 80 million for him.
No,
especially if we've got to look for the goalkeeper position as well.
Oh, yeah, and they definitely do. So is that what you're saying about the goalkeeper? Then you get rid of Kepa. You won't give him another year.
I'm not sure. To be honest, I like Kepa. It's a tricky one because if you look at his stats, he's like worst in league or whatever.
Yeah.
But some saves he comes out with sometimes. I think, decent keeper, but I think, it's probably time for him to go.
Do you know
he's going to be one.
I was going to say, sorry. With Kepa, like you say, he does make some brilliant saves at times, and you think like he's won us a couple of games this season. I think Watford. Was it Watford away? Watford away. When Ben Foster could have scored for Watford.
And he saved it.
He does pull off these worldly saves, but then he'll just drop an absolute howler or just get nowhere near the ball or whatever. And it does make me think De Gea, it took him a year or two to really become the keeper that he is. Well, what was.
Man United. True.
So
would you keep him then? He's still young. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he's 24, and at that age, I think there could be better options out there. But
100%.
But the thing is,
I wouldn't be disappointed if Frank kept Kepa for another season. I don't think. Just to see if we get a defender, a really good defender, and then keep Kepa, I'd be happy. To be fair,
I don't think just Kepa's the problem. I think Zuma's hitting this when he plays well. He plays really well, but he has a few stinkers as well. I think Rudiger is not the defender he was a couple of years ago.
Do you not think?
No, not anymore. I really don't.
He's dropped off. He has dropped off this season, to be fair, but we've got other options like Tomori.
I do like Tomori. I've been saying Tomori. If that's why I'm saying for Chelsea's centre back, if they could find a dominant leader centre back, Van Dijk
alongside him.
Yeah, I've got this blueprint of Van Dijk and Gomez. Tomori could be the Gomez. I think they're similar in terms of the height, the stature, the pace. They're both rapid.
How they play, it's very similar.
Again, Tomori was another one playing well before an injury, and then he just hasn't really been back in the team.
Yeah, we've not really seen much of him recently, have we?
No, I'm not a fan of Christensen either, to be honest.
He's past it. He's been here. It feels like he's been here ages, but he's still. How old is he?
He's not old, to be fair. He's only 24, 25.
He's not very old, but it feels like he's been here ages. He's not really going anywhere. He's always been
He's not progressing.
One, like sub that we've had, or if anyone's injured, then he'll play, or in cup games.
But
it's just
he was meant to be next big thing, weren't he? Couple of years ago. I think he had a couple of years at Mönchengladbach on loan. And John Terry said that Chelsea should build their team around.
I saw that.
He said he was future captain and all this, and everyone got hopes up. But
maybe with a bit more game time, he could have progressed into something more. But
I always think with Christensen, I think he's just a bit soft, to be honest. I don't
soft.
I do think he's a bit soft. I think he gets bullied.
He's not hard enough.
No,
for a centre back. Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Where you're coming from.
It does sound a bit daft, but I just think he gets bullied by, like, I don't know, your Troy Deeney's, your Ashley Barnes, is like these sort of bullish strikers.
Yeah, no, I do know what you mean.
So yeah, moving on. Anyway, Havertz, I've already mentioned him. Looking like that one's a lot closer to being done now, because the original sticking point was that Bayer Leverkusen was still in the Europa League, so they didn't want to like jeopardise their chance of now they're out. Opens the door for Chelsea.
It's got to be good. Yeah, as you said, they were just waiting until Bayer Leverkusen finished their campaign in Europa League, and then it was pretty much done. So hopefully next week we see that go through. Quality player. I mean, what can you say about him? He's scored, assisted this year for Bayern. It's been vital for them. And then obviously with Werner and Ziyech and all the players he's going to have around him at Chelsea next year, it's going to be really, really exciting to see us.
So how do you see Chelsea lining up next year then? So what sort of system do you think they'll play, and who do you think will slot in where?
I think they'll play kind of similar to this year, with Pulisic on left wing, Werner up top, right wing, Ziyech. And then I'd probably put Havertz in the middle, like a cam roll, and then like two, not defensive, but like centre mids. Yeah, we've got Kante, Mount, Kovacic. Let's not forget about him. He's had a great good season this year.
I think he's our player of the year.
Yeah, 100%. But even players like Gilmour, who's been injured, he's got to come back. We've got Loftus-Cheek. You know, we're pretty stacked in that area. So I
was just thinking, one player that you haven't mentioned there, Jorginho. Does he fit in or does he leave?
I don't know. He started playing a bit towards the end of the season. I'm not sure. He had a great season under Sarri. I still rate him, to be fair. Whether he is going to fit in next year, I'm not sure. He's getting on a bit. And
the best I've seen him play in ages was when he came off the bench against Palace. Because the game was just starting to get away. Just starting to get away from us, and he just came on, sorted things out, just steadied the ship a little bit. I think he had so many touches at ball. He passed the ball, but must have passed it about 100 times in about 20 minutes. He was always at the ball.
He come on with level head. He sorted it out. And to be fair, he's unreal passer at ball. Some at balls he's pinging. It's unbelievable. But
he's a proper leader as well.
Yeah, I think he's definitely dropped since Sarri left. I think the relationship they had definitely made him better.
Oh, Sarri loves him, yeah.
Yeah, maybe Frank's not took to him as much, but still a good player. And I keep him as a good bench player, to be fair. Come on in if we're struggling, 60th minute.
I do find it
calm it down a bit.
I do find it interesting. Under Sarri, Jorginho was made a bit of a scapegoat because Kante wasn't playing his best position. Although Kante's, while he's been in England, he's never really been a sitting midfielder. He's always been a box-to-box midfielder.
Yeah.
But Lampard came in, did the exact same thing, and no one really mentioned it. So I do find that quite interesting. But anyway, moving on. We've talked a lot about players that could come in. Obviously, at Chelsea, they've got a very big squad. A lot of players out on loan as well that always come back, and then they send 40 players out on loan. There's a lot of dead wood at the club.
Could say that.
Obviously, we could do with raising some more funds as well, so that we can improve the squad. Which players do you think should be shown the door?
Well, firstly, I don't think Willian should have been shown the door. I think he's been a good player this year. I think did he want a 2-year contract and we're only offering him 1 year or
That's
something like
that's
that?
the thing with Chelsea. They have that 1 year for over 30s policy, don't
Yeah,
they?
that's
Like
it. Yeah,
Drogba, Lampard, Czech, Terry, they all had to do it. So they're not going to break
yeah.
their own rules for Willian. And
So
Arsenal came with a 3-year deal. So
yeah, it's a shame to see him go. But players I'd sell, Barkley maybe. I think he's going to be finding it hard to get game time next year with all the players we've got coming through and all the attacking players that Frank signed this year.
yeah, 2 hit and miss Barkley for me.
Yeah, obviously keeper. There's a big debate there.
Yeah.
Sell Kepa, then maybe raise funds for Onana or Black, which are all great players. But yeah, just get rid of the ones that we don't really need. Centre backs, Christensen, get a decent amount of money for him, 30-40 million.
Yeah. Apparently, one that I've seen today from the very reliable Fabrizio Romano on Twitter. Apparently, Timmy Bakayoko is one that's going back to AC Milan for a year. They're going to pay 3 million in loan fees with an option to buy at the end for 35 million. So
I completely forgot about it, to be honest.
It's very easily done.
The amount of players that we've just forget about because we've not seen them in about 4 years. Because every time they come back, they just go back on loan. It's ridiculous, but
Batshuayi is another. Like he's still at the club, but I just forgot about him because Lampard.
Completely forgot about him as well.
Last time he played that I can remember anyway was against Man United in the cup, in the League Cup. I think he scored, but he was just dreadful.
Where did he go on loan?
Oh, he's still at the club at the minute, but he's been all over the place. Was he at Palace for a bit?
Was his last place Palace?
Yeah, I think so. He's been at Dortmund. He's been at Valencia.
Yeah, he's been everywhere, hasn't he? But
yeah, he's doing a European tour.
He's not really made a mark anywhere, has he? That's his problem.
He's always one of them where I said there's a player in him because he was scoring goals before he was at Chelsea, and you don't just forget how to score goals.
Yeah.
But I've always said, if he can just get a run of games, but at first there was Costa, you weren't getting team ahead of Costa. And then we had Morata, and I thought, could Michi play in this team? But no managers fancied him, really. So,
to be fair, he has had a bit of a chance. When there was one point in the season when I think Costa got injured or Morata, and he did have a good long run of games, but didn't really do much from it. So then, I'm not sure. It's a tricky one with him. I'd pretend to sell him if I can get some good money for him, to be fair.
Definitely. Especially with Werner coming in. Because I always think you probably need 3 strikers in a squad maximum. If Batshuayi is better, it's going to be 4th choice behind Giroud, Tammy and
Werner. Yeah. Them 3 are good. It just depends whether Tammy's going to want to be playing more. Because obviously Werner's going to be playing game in, game out, probably. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Giroud probably he'll accept that he's not going to get much playing time. Maybe odd cup game on bench, he'll probably come on. But so it just depends whether Tammy's gonna want to play first team football. He's going to fight out for his position, or it'll be interesting.
It will. Another thing that'll be interesting because obviously most of the focus for Chelsea this year in the transfer window so far has been on attacking players. But we've already talked about it, but a goalkeeper should be number 1 on the list for me. Yeah, definitely. Who do you think Chelsea should sign?
Who should they sign, or who do I want them to sign?
Both.
Obviously, All Black, probably top 2, top 3 goalkeeper in the world.
Yeah.
So obviously you'd want him at the club, but
is it realistic?
What fee is that going to cost? And if we get him, are we going to be able to afford defenders, other positions, blah, blah, blah. Other option, Onana, been all right this season for Ajax.
Make of it what you will, but Onana posted a picture of Ziyech on his Instagram story the other day of them 2 FaceTiming. So,
oh, really?
Agent Ziyech.
Well, I saw the other day that Tammy was speaking to Sancho on FaceTime. So,
well, another name that's been thrown about is Dean Henderson. I thought it was very interesting that Sheffield United had a bid rejected for Aaron Ramsdale at Bournemouth. So obviously if they're in the market for a goalkeeper, they're not expected to keep Henderson. But he's already come out and said, well, that he needs to be playing first team football. So it all goes back down to Man United. So
I think,
go on.
Yeah, I think United would be silly not to take Henderson back after the season he's had, and after the one that De Gea's had. Shocking, really. Some of the performances that he's had's not been great. So I think he will go back to United, or if he don't go back to United, he'll play for. So they're both called United, yeah. So
yeah,
he's a good player, still young, progressing. So yeah, I'd like him.
It's for me. Solskjaer does seem to have a lot of faith in De Gea. Like he always backs him. He keeps saying he's the best goalkeeper in the world, even though I don't think he is anymore. But it's just Henderson needs to be playing first team football. He can't sit on the bench and watch De Gea. So it just makes me wonder if he's with Sheffield United looking at Aaron Ramsdale as well. So they're not planning on keeping him. I don't think Man United will. Well, I think they'll back De Gea. So I think Henderson, it could be an option for Chelsea.
It definitely could be an option. If I had to choose between him and Oblak and an Armour, then I'd probably choose them. But I don't know, actually. Maybe Henderson over an Armour. But
yeah, he's still only young. I do think Onana would be a lot cheaper option as well. I think probably between 30 and 40 million.
Well, that's it. If we're wanting to get a defender as well, then we've got to be not overspending on players that we could get other options in for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the same with Chilwell, like we talked about earlier. You're not spending 80 million on Chilwell, are you? Because then that takes money away from your centre-back budget and then your goalkeeper budget.
Yeah, definitely. It's been mad this year with transfer window, though. Like before, would you have expected to sign Werner, Ziyech and probably Havertz next week?
No, definitely not.
Like Chelsea, it feels like we're on FIFA career mode or something.
I've been saying for a few years, Chelsea haven't really gone out and bought a megastar like your Man United's have with Paul Pogba, and Liverpool, maybe not Liverpool, but Man City have gone out and bought the big names as well. But Chelsea haven't really done that.
Yeah.
It's just interesting to see Werner. I just never would have expected him at Chelsea.
No, I wouldn't, especially after, I thought we were going to go to Liverpool at first, weren't he? He's been converted and now he's coming to the bridge.
It's always talked about as well with a German player coming through. I just always assume they're going to end up at Bayern Munich, to be honest. But Havertz, apparently Bayern have pulled out of a race because they've gone for Sané, obviously, instead. So, yeah.
Well, I think Havertz wants to play for Chelsea, doesn't he?
Yeah, and
that's what I've been seeing.
That's the thing I was going to come on to about Lampard. He seems to have a certain pull power about him. Because Ziyech said, I spoke to Lampard and I thought, I want to be there. Werner's come out and said the main reason I'm here is because of Frank Lampard and the project. I think because he's a big enough name from his playing days. Obviously, he's still got a bit to do in management, but it's similar to Gerrard up at Rangers. Some of the signings they've pulled off just because it's Steven Gerrard. It's like they wouldn't have got them before.
Yeah. Well, they want to be a part of the project, don't they?
That's
Chelsea are obviously going for big titles next year with all the money they're pumping in this year. But what do you think for next year?
It's difficult because I think Man United will spend money again. I don't think it all comes down to me to who they sign at centre back and goalkeeper. If they sign a centre back and goalkeeper.
If they do,
If they don't, then we're just going to have to rely on the goals and hope that we win every game 5-4 or something. But, but I'm as much as anything, I'm sceptical about Chelsea's history with managers. I do wonder how long Lampard will actually be given, because they're pumping a lot of money in. If Chelsea don't get third, second next year, we know what Chelsea are like.
It's tricky. They've got to give him time. They've always been like, if they don't win a title, then they get rid of manager. But with a club legend and only a second season in management, to get Champions League this year with the squad he's had is very good. So next season, I think can't judge him properly off next season, because this is going to be his first season properly in Champions League with the new players that he's wanted to sign. He's got to be given time, I think.
Yeah, it's very exciting, but at the same time, it's as is football. It's exciting, but it's nervous at the same time. It's like I do have high hopes for this Chelsea team, and it really looks like they're trying to build. And I really hope they give Lampard time, but if they don't, and they just bring in another, I don't know, Gus Hiddink, whoever, like
foreign manager,
I just want them to just properly back Lampard, let him bring all these youth players through, because there seems to be a real togetherness at the club at the minute. So
100%. Yeah,
proper community at the minute. So yeah, it's exciting. But
it is very exciting. I think I'm hoping good things next season.
What is good things for you?
Good things. Getting out Champions League group. Ideally,
is that not expected though? We got the Champions League group this year.
Yeah. Obviously, it's expected. Probably, I'd be hoping around quarterfinals.
Yeah,
I'd be happy with maybe even push for semis if the draw's good. But
yeah, it all comes out to the draw, really, doesn't it? But
we've got to be winning FA Cup or Carabao Cup. Definitely one of them this year. We shouldn't have won it the other day, but we needed to. But yeah, maybe a top 3 finish, I think, is probably what they'll be looking for. Maybe seconds, but with Liverpool and City, it's going to be hard, isn't it?
Obviously, with what Liverpool and City have done over the last few years, they're miles away. Like, no one can touch them at the minute. But it's just about closing the gap to start off with. I think if they can bring in a couple of defenders and a goalkeeper, I think they'll do that, and maybe push for second. Obviously, you want to be winning the league, but push for second, maybe. I think.
Yeah, I think definitely next season we've got to be getting some silverware. Yeah. Wherever it comes from, even if
it don't matter.
FA Cup or just a bit of silverware under Frank's name, and that I think he'll get it proper rolling then.
Yeah, that's it. Right, I think we'll end it there.
Yeah, lovely. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Thanks for watching.
Thank you very much for having me.
No worries. Thanks for watching. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like and share it around, and subscribe to the channel for more podcasts. I'll see you later.